Hey, you guys, Cindy here. Happy Monday and welcome to our Summer of Love series as I dive into an important topic that I love and I don't know if it's talked about a lot, but it's talked about, but my goal here today is to give you guys some real tools on how to text men effectively and understanding why it's important and how to really create a connection that way. So I hope this helps. Let me know, you guys, if you're watching live or the replay, and I would love to hear any questions or comments around this topic of texting and also around the topic of anything in your love life. So I'd love to hear from you, and just know that your guys' questions and being vulnerable in this group actually helps out a lot more people than you can even be aware of. So I'm excited you're here. Hey Patricia, hi Lori, it's good to see you guys today. And yes, it's a good topic around texting. So we live in a world that is text oriented. We text a lot these days, and texting is, a short form of email, essentially. And I also work with a lot of women that appreciate when they're asked out on a date, having a man pick up the phone and do so. And we're conditioned in our society to accept something different. The trending has changed. So I'm going to teach you guys a couple of things around the art of texting that I hope will enlighten you and help you to use texting as a tool to connect in your love life. Sound good? So here's the number one trick to texting. A lot of men will text. A lot of men will text to say hi. They'll text to connect. And, again, I talk to women all the time that will say, he just said hi, how are you? And I'm not quite sure where to go with that. And as women, we want to connect, and it's really hard for us to do so via text. Although sometimes when we're getting to know someone, we will use text as a dialogue and it almost turns into a date. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but put a thumbs up if you've ever experienced that. And with texting, it can actually be, and I want you guys to hear this, and I invite you to really hear this, it's a false sense of connection. Because it's not really connecting voice to voice or face to face. And what that can promote is a fantasy connection. So we want to avoid a fantasy bond. We actually want to create a true connection with an individual, which again, these types of relationships are, there's downsides to it and there's upsides to text messaging. So here's the number one rule of thumb when it comes to text messaging in your dating life. You want to text less than they do. Hi, Helene, good to see you. So let me explain that to you. Two top rules in texting, and grab a pen and a piece of paper to write this down. Do not start the dialogue in text messaging. Don't do it. Let them lead, right? And I talk about this all the time, letting them lead. Let him lead the dialogue in text messaging. Number two, you respond in kind and respond with less verbiage than him. So for example, if he says, hi, how are you? You want to say in return something like, great, you? You're responding with fewer words. For women, this can be one of the most challenging things to do. You want to be upbeat, and you also, the other thing, this is number 3 with text messaging, and this is important. You don't want to message a man back right away after he texts. So you want to message him back within, let's say, an hour. On the lower side, 30 minutes, on, an hour or so. And if you have a busy, full life, you have other things going on, that shouldn't be a big deal. And, I think a lot of women, from what I've experienced, there are many women that have fear that, oh, he's going to go away, he's going to think I don't like him if I don't respond right away. And none of that is true. I mean, with the wrong types of men, they might not like it, or they might say something, and that's a red flag. So most healthy-minded men know that you have a life, and this is also a way of teaching someone how to treat you. So you respond in kind, and let's say he's text messaging you, and he's asking you on dates on text messaging. You're not getting phone calls. So this is what you want to do. After a small text conversation, and let me explain this to you. If, after his first reach out, he says, hi, how are you? You say, great, you. And maybe he responds right back with, oh, I golfed this round of golf. It was, I really did horrible today. Yada, yada. What about you? Respond back in kind, share something about you. After a couple of text messages back and forth, if you're having a text conversation, it's okay to text back and forth, but you want to end that first, and there's a way to actually inspire him to hop on a call with you. So if you would like for him to call you, or he's saying, well, gosh, we should get together this week, you could say, that sounds great. Do you have a quick minute to chat on the phone? And what you're doing is you're extending an invitation for him to call you. And that way he could properly ask you out on the date. You guys could work out the details on the phone. And then you can say, and then you want to say, gosh, I really love to hear your voice in between the times that we get together. I love the connection of talking on the phone. And I'm excited to see you Thursday night. Talk to you later. Why do men text? They text because it saves time. A lot of times men don't want to get stuck on the phone. So I want you to hear me out. If you talk to a man on the phone, you also don't want to take a long time. You want to build up tension through text messaging and through a phone call. And the easiest way to do that is to leave first. So, for example, if you do what I just shared with you and you guys hop on a call and you chat with them and you want to time it. I do this with my clients all the time, and sometimes it drives them nuts, but it works. And if you're talking to them, talk to them for about 10 minutes and just say, you know what, I've got to run. And 10 minutes isn't very long, and it gets you into a light conversation to say, gosh, I'm so looking forward to seeing you this week. I do need to run. Have a great night. And he might be going, well, where are you going? What are you doing? Because he wants more of you, because you're letting him go first. It's the hunter in him. and you say, oh gosh, I've got to run to my yoga class or whatever it is. So I just got a message here, and this is a really good one. I'm going to get to that in a second, Jamie. That's a great one. So you're doing what's called building tension here, right? And then if you're doing a little dialogue of text messaging, you want to end it first. Oh, and with a little bit of mystery to it too. Oh, you know what? I want to, you could be like, hey, how's your day? It's great. Oh, good. How did your dinner go with your daughter? Whatever you guys are talking about, right? And then you can say, you almost want to do what's called a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger texts are great. You know what? More on that later. I'm about to head out to dinner, or I'm about to, I'm about to go to a movie or something. I'm about to step into an appointment. Chat later, smiley face. So what that does is it creates curiosity. Men love to feel curious about a woman because what's happened nowadays is there's not a lot of curiosity out there. In fact, there are a lot of women that are using their sexuality to connect with a man or to create a relationship with a man, and he won't see her as long term. But if you're doing the subtle art of text messaging, you're pleasant, you're not texting him, reaching out to him all the time, you respond back in kind, you turn it into a phone call, you let him know how much you appreciate the phone call. If you don't stay on the phone with a man too long, here's what happens. He's more encouraged to want to talk to you. And secondly, if he knows it makes you happy, he will get on, he'll be inspired to want to call you, especially if he's what I call digging your chili, if he's charmed and enchanted by you. So I just got a message from Jamie around what are your thoughts around a man sending a breakup text. What I'm curious about is how long did you date that person? I find that to be, men don't like confrontation. So there's usually a series of events that have happened leading up to that you probably know in your heart of all hearts that it's not going anywhere. And maybe not, or maybe you've only gone out, a number of times, but if you've been dating someone for a substantial amount of time and there's a breakup over text message, that's feedback for you. It's feedback for you taking responsibility for yourself in a real connection and a relationship, because most people, if they've been dating for a period of time, they are going to respect the other person enough to take a moment to meet with them out in public or at their home to have a conversation that this is not working for me. And a breakup text is not a real, it doesn't say a whole lot about the standards of the relationship, in my opinion, or the individual that's doing the breakup. If he's breaking up over text message, and I would even say this if it's more than 3 dates. If you've gone out with someone a couple times and they're texting you to get together again, dated 3 years, 3 years, am I reading that right? And that person broke up via text message, it's feedback. It's feedback around the potential real disconnection in the commitment of the relationship. So I don't know what was leading up to that, Jamie. That's horrible. That must have been, really painful. And, I don't know why people do the things they do, but there's, we could say, that's cowardly or whatever, but, men all in all don't like confrontation. So he had a fear factor. What's really going on in a man's head is he had a fear factor. He was afraid that you were going to flip out on him, that you were going to maybe try to convince him otherwise. He had a fear. Now, whether that was a substantiated fear from experiences with you, or that came from past experiences before you, I don't know. It really does depend on the circumstance. He could have grown up in a family with a overbearing mother that he shut down from and retracted from, and that's his way of being in relationships, and that can take a while to shift. And it usually takes a woman to hold space for him and seeking to understand that. But I hope that helps you. I hope it helps give you insight. I would try to go, err on the side of compassion. I would, I wouldn't reach out to him. I would let it go. And, my guess is there's been enough conversation over the years that would lead you to believe that this is the right next best step, and trust that. And what's great is you get the opportunity to move forward in your life, Jamie. And I have lots of love and compassion for you ladies and men out there. As you know, I don't think they're the bad guy. I know plenty of women that have done the same thing, and we're human, right? All going through a human experience. So you guys, with text messaging, remember this: less is more. You're trying to build tension, and use text messaging as a tool, not an annoyance. Actually use it as something to have a little bit of fun and connection, and then invite them to a quick phone call. Hey, do you have a quick moment to chat? If you say a quick moment to chat, he's not going to think, oh, she's going to keep me on the phone for an hour, because again, a lot of men don't love to chat on the phone for too long. They just don't. And you want to let them off the phone first, because it keeps them wanting more. Same with text messaging conversations, guys. You end the text message conversation first, end it on a high note. The examples that I stated, more on that later. Good question. So Lori just asked this. What if they think you're going to call? Well, if he says yes, just say, hey, I look forward to hearing from you. Or call me, smiley face. Simple. It's an invitation to him. It's a subtle one. And it works. And just remember, you guys, that having, hey Nat, it's good. I'm so happy that you guys like this. It's subtle little things. This is, I could get into Ninja Warrior stuff, and I'm actually going to hopefully more on my upcoming summit, the third annual Successful Woman's Guide to Meet and Marry Her Man. So you all want to sign up for that. I am interviewing a great panel of experts, and it's going to be a ton of fun. There's a lot of amazing content, and you know, a lot of support within this event. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to see you guys Wednesday. I have something really special that I'm sharing with my database. So I absolutely hope that each and every one of you guys take advantage of this. It's huge, and it's an opportunity to, I'm just going to give you a hint. It's an opportunity to work with me and get a really big breakthrough at something that I've never done before, at a crazy, crazy deal. And I'm only offering it briefly because it's my birthday on Wednesday, and I like to offer something really special each year. And this was inspired by a close friend of mine and my business coach, and in my heart, I'm super excited to be able to have created this opportunity for you guys. So anyways, I'm sending you so much love. I hope this was helpful today. I will see you all on Wednesday. And just as a heads up, our Love Talk Lives, our Summer of Love series is, they're at 12:30 Pacific this week. My schedule shifted a little bit due to my son's camp obligation, and that I get to pick him up at noon. So anyway, I will see you then. If you guys have any questions, DM me, direct message me, set up a call. I would love to chat with you and see how I can best support you in really creating your vision and your goals and your love life. All right, have an amazing day. Bye, everyone. Mwah.